everyone, a very good evening, good morning to all of you. So in today's session we'll be discussing some question based on noun. As we have already discussed what is noun, how many kinds and types of nouns are there, it is classified in how many types, right? Countable and uncountable noun. Apart from that, how many genders of noun are there? The topic is basically, the idea here is, the topic is very simple, right? But what we lack is, we sometimes take this topic for granted. Why? Because we think noun is a very simple topic and will be able to solve any kind of question which will come uh, with respect to noun. But at times the questions can be really tricky, simple yet tricky, right? So in today's session we'll try our best uh, to you know uh, share with you, discuss with you some questions which are basically noun based questions, and they are quite tricky. So let's see what kind of questions do come in this chapter. Okay, so let's get started with the session. So in today's session we'll be discussing easy level questions. Okay, overall, if I talk about overall questions, we'll be discussing 20 questions each, and in this 20 questions we'll be discussing 7 questions based on easy level, 7 questions based on moderate level, the topic will be same, noun, and 6 questions based on difficult level. So based on the difficulty we'll move on one by one. Okay, so mostly the question which comes is usually either from this topic, and sometimes if it's a very regular kind of a exam, competitive exam, you can get easy level questions as well, but the chances are quite low. Always consider that the medium level questions will always come in your exam, whatever exam you are appearing for. Difficult level questions are also expected. Always expect the unexpected, because it is a competitive exam. You don't know the mindset of the examiner who is going to set the paper, how they are going to set the paper. So always be prepared and be ready for the worst, right? So we'll solve 3 levels, and those 3 levels will consist of 7 questions easy, 7 medium, and 6 difficult. Okay, so let's get started and see what questions and directions do we have today. So in today's session, the direction is, identify the segment in the sentence that contains a grammatical error. Choose the option which is grammatically incorrect from A, B, C and D. If there is no error, you can choose part E as your answer. Okay, which is no error. I hope directions are pretty clear here. So the first question first. The question says, after demonetization, bringing back of normal functioning of the working bodies is the biggest concern for the people now. Remember, we are solving noun questions, noun related questions. Okay, so we have to look into the noun, the words which are noun here first, that is there any error in the noun, and then we have to check whether it's a no error or not. Definitely we cannot just pre-assume that it will be a no error question just by reading it. You have to have a logical reason here why you are selecting no error, or why you are selecting this particular part of the sentence as error. You should have a correct reason, and then your answer will be correct. This is how you maintain your accuracy when it comes to questions. Okay, so we have to work on the accuracy also. Now see, okay, you see, after demonetization, bringing back, bringing back is correct, of normal functioning of the working bodies is the biggest. What is biggest here? Big, bigger, biggest, adjective, right? And we use an adjective with a noun. So here I can see the word concerned is written. The appropriate noun for this adjective and in the sentence would be concern and not concerned. A noun is required here, not a verb, right? So the error is in part D of the statement. Okay, so I'll choose option number 4 as my answer. Next question. Rashmi wasn't wearing a helmet while riding a scooty. So by the time she reached my home, her hair was all messed up. Okay, very easy to identify, right? I don't think so much time, like even you will not be taking much time just by reading it. The way I'm reading the whole sentence, you will get to know some very common errors. For example, the error here is her hairs. The plural form of hair remains the same, as we all know. All of her hair is being talked about collectively. Thus, whether used plurally or singularly, we will use what? We will go with the term hair and not hairs. Right? So, even when we say hairs, hairs is when we try to denote the singularity of each individual strand of hair, right? But here it says hairs. So the correct answer is again D. Error is in D. Option number 4 is my answer. Next question. This sport season, women athletes have outperformed man athletes in the most of the primarily male dominant sports. Okay, so two nouns are being compared here, you see. So both should either be singular or plural. Given sentences, this sentence actually talks about women and men, right? Women and men. This sports season, women athletes have outperformed men athletes, isn't it? So definitely we are talking about athletes in a huge group, right? A huge number of people. So we'll go with a plural subject, we'll go with a plural noun. Hence this needs to be changed. Man will be changed into men. So C is the correct answer. Here my answer would be option number 3. Next question. In my tenure of being a female police officer, I have faced a lot of horrifying experience. Now you see the error basically lies, if I say, like, we are talking about noun, right? The chapter is noun, so we'll always uh, try to figure the errors out from the nouns only. You see, the experiences, a person can have experiences. When I say a lot of horrifying experience, so don't you think there's a contradiction between a lot of an experience being a noun, uh, shouldn't be used this way, right? There are several experiences. We are talking it in a plural sense. So when the plural sense is here, we should go with the term experiences and not experience. So the error here is option number D. Next. By the end of the investigation, there were a lot of questions that were left unanswered. Okay, so in this sentence, whenever, right, whenever we use some terms like, when you read this statement, right, what do you what makes you think that this should be an error or this should not be an error? So by the end of the investigation, there were a lot of, again, a lot of means what? Many, right? So when we are talking about many, it should be, the noun should be a lot of questions. A lot of questions. Great many questions, right? So the error is in 3. Next question. Madhav's honestly has been admired by all of his friends, family, and relatives. It shows his courage and ownership of his own actions. Okay. So when I say honestly, which parts of speech is honestly? Definitely it's an adverb, right? When I say he's an honest man, And when I say honesty, a noun is honest, right? Someone is honest. So this honest becomes an adjective. When I say honesties about someone's honesty, for example, Madhav's honesty, Madhav's loyalty, Madhav's seriousness, Madhav's friendship. So these all the terms should be taken as noun. Noun should be used here, right? The requirement is noun. So here in place of honestly, in place where adverb is mentioned, that's an erroneous part. So the error is in option number A, and in place of honestly we will use honesty, which is a noun, of course.